I'm going to show you how to make a scratch and read activity on Seesaw. And so you can see we're already in the Seesaw whiteboard area, and the students would use the eraser and they are going to erase what shape you've got covered up to reveal a word to read. And so this is a scratch and read for the IP family. And so these are all IP words. And to create it, you can use Google Slides or PowerPoint. I'm using Google Slides. I found a cute little butterfly blowing bubbles, and so I'm going to create my background first. Then we'll go back to Seesaw to finish the scratch part. And so I'm going to add a shape, and my bubbles are going to be circles. So I'm just going to draw a circle. I can use the tools to make them whichever color I want. So I want white circles with a nice little turquoise border. And I think that's the shape I want. You can drag it and make it about the size that you want. And then you can just copy and paste it. The steps are pretty similar on PowerPoint. And so you can add as many as you'd like for the students to work on. I think that's going to be good for me. Now, here's what you're going to have to do to get this into Seesaw. You're going to click on File up on the top left-hand corner in Google Slides, and you're going to download it as a JPEG. If you were in PowerPoint, you would click File too, but you would click Export and export it as a JPEG. And so then I can come back to Seesaw. Your file is either going to be in your downloads, or if you're on Chrome, it's down here on the bottom still. So I am on Chrome. So to create my activity, I'm going to click that green Add button up at the top on my teacher dashboard for Seesaw. I'm going to assign an activity, which is just going to take me to my activity library. In my activity library, I'm going to click on the Create an Activity button, which is right here on the left. And I'm going to I'm going to do a number scratch and read game. And we'll do instructions afterwards. But I'm going to take you to where it says student template. You see I scrolled down under student template. You're going to click add template for student responses. Then from here, we're going to go to the upload where it says file, photo, and video. So click upload. And on there, I can drop in my file or upload it from my computer. Since I'm on Chrome, I can actually just drag and drop it right in there. And so I can see that my background is there. I'm going to click the green button on the top right-hand corner over here. And now I have a workable template in the background. So I'm going to use the T over here, that text box. Click on that. It's going to give me a text box with a border, which I don't want. And I'm going to click on these three dots down here. And on those three dots, I'm going to get a menu. And I'm going to choose Style. And I don't want a border. And then I'm going to choose Feather because I'm just a fan of that text style. And I'm going to do a scratch and read with numbers. So I'll put the number 7. And you can make those as big as you want by modifying where the dots are. And so once I have it a size I want, looks like a real good size, then I can just click on those three dots again and duplicate this so that I don't have to readjust the size on anything for that text box and just keep adding numbers. Or like you do in Word or PowerPoint, you can copy and paste with the shortcut keys. And so I'm going to make numbers for all of these little bubbles. Now, once you have all of your shapes filled in, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to click back on each of those text boxes, and it's going to give me those three dots again at the bottom. I'm going to click that, and I'm going to lock this into place. You see where that lock is? So that way the students don't get to move any of these objects or resize when they do the activity. And so it is when you click on the text box, click the three dots and lock it. And you're going to do that for each of your text boxes. Then when you're done with that, now you can use one of these tools down here. I'm going to use the marker tool, which is after the move, pencil, marker. And then I'm going to pick the color I want for my bubbles over here on the colors. I'm going to go with, that's a good color for my bubbles. And then when I double click on that marker, I can choose what size I want. I'm going to want to do this as quickly as I can, so I think I'm going to go with something a little bit bigger. And then I'm just going to fill in each of those shapes to the best of my abilities. Now that I think about it, I might actually make those a little bit bigger. And you're going to do that for each shape. If you're using a trackpad on a laptop, this is a little bit harder. If you were using a mouse on a computer, it's a little bit easier to get inside the shape and cover up what you're trying to hide from the students so they can scratch and read it. So now all my bubbles are covered. And then I'm just going to click the green check button over here on that top right hand corner because I have covered everything up. And so if I scroll down, you can see in the templates, everything is already covered up. So I don't have to worry about that. Then I'm just going to type in some directions. So click the add button. And if you are using your Seesaw shortcuts, you're going to be using the different types of shortcut they have so that you can have the image on your instructions. So click the add button. I'm going to have the students click the move button, which is that little hand with the box. And then I'm going to have them click the microphone so they can record. And then I'm just going to tell them to use the eraser to scratch the bubbles and say the number you see. When they're done, I'm going to want them to click the check button to turn in your work. Now I also have the option to add some voice instructions, so I can click here, get that microphone, and then record instructions. Click the add button. Click the move button. Then you're going to click the microphone. Use the eraser to scratch the bubbles and say the number you see. Then click the check button to turn in your work. Then I can pause that and it will process and add that to my instructions. And then at the bottom right, I'm going to click save. And now I have made my own little bubble scratch and read activity. Then from here I can assign it to whichever students or class I'd like. And on the bottom right hand side, I can copy and edit and make a new one. I can actually go back and edit the activity, delete it if I didn't like it, or I can click share and share it with different people, with my school if I have Seesaw School access, share on social media, or even get a link or an embed code if necessary. I hope you found this useful.